When I think of exploring a large world on the NES, there's an unofficial trilogy that comes to mind. The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, and Legacy of the Wizard. If you enjoy The Legend of Zelda and Metroid and you haven't tried Legacy of the Wizard, then you owe it to yourself to seek this out. In a lot of ways, it's a bigger version of those first two games. Let me show you why. In The Legacy of the Wizard, the player assumes the control of the chosen hero in their quest to recover the needed magical items, with the ultimate goal of collecting the predestined sword. Along the way, they will receive help from friends and allies, and encounter some randomly placed shopkeepers. After many dungeons and vastly expanding the options in their inventory, our adventurer, equipped with their Sword of Destiny, journeys to the lair of the villain, commences in an epic battle, and through the guidance of the player, hopefully, achieves victory. If that got you excited, then let me tell you about the gameplay. The player begins by venturing out alone with nothing in their inventory, as they begin exploring the open world around them, eventually finding tricky obstacles and dead ends. The player will need to use their resources to obtain new weapons and abilities, so that further progress can be made. The large area to explore has smaller areas that need to be solved, each ending with a boss that must be defeated before access to the last part of the game is allowed. Eventually, the player character will be fully upgraded and prepared to take on the final boss at the end of the game. Now, Legacy of the Wizard is still unique in a lot of ways. First of all is the size and scope of the adventure. The Drousel family live in their home, protecting a kingdom from the rise of a dragon that was sealed in the dungeon below. And this dungeon is twice the size of the overworld in The Legend of Zelda. The player will take control of each member of the Drousel family during the course of the adventure. Each member of the family has strengths and weaknesses that are tailor-made to tackle a specific part of the dungeon, breaking the single large dungeon into 5 smaller dungeons. 4 of them have a magical crown that must be collected. Only then can the Dragon Slayer's sword be acquired, and finally, the player can venture to the crossroads to fight the dragon. Finally, the soundtrack is awesome! It was a big reason why I would keep coming back to this game as a kid. The developers also used the music to help the players navigate the very large dungeon. Each section of the dungeon plays the theme of the character that is supposed to explore it. Once you figure out each character's theme, you can begin to parse out the dungeon. I rented this game as a kid again and again because there was always somewhere to explore and a new character to explore it with. More people should be aware of this game and experience it for themselves. If I've convinced you to give it a go, please come back and let me know what you thought with a comment. If you're looking for more hidden gems on the NES, check out my video on Wizards and Warriors. It has the same exploring gameplay loop as Metroid, but it has the fast pace of Super Mario Odyssey. Keep in mind that this was one of my first videos, and I've gotten a little better in my video presentation skills since then. But I think I still make my point well enough. So check out that video next, and thank you for watching.